So I decided to do the video reflection or response instead of a typed one. And I think I'm gonna be always doing video responses because um, I'm just more of a video person. I'm more of a yapping person. I like to talk a lot. So I like to do that rather than write. And I feel like sometimes I really don't know the words, how to describe what I'm feeling. So that's why I'm doing a video. Anyway, so I guess it's just like summarizing, how I am, and so it can be said out loud, which I think is very. I think I needed this right now because it's my first year of teaching, and it has been a lot, and I'm learning a lot about kids, and about parents, and about cultures, and a lot of things. So let me summarize. Let me tell you who I am. So I am 23 years old. I graduated from Texas A&M in December of last year. And I just started my first teaching job in August. I currently live with my boyfriend who I met in Texas A&M, and we met about 2 years ago at Texas A&M, and we live together now, and we both have big jobs, and we're trying to just figure out life. I think we're both Hispanic, and his family comes from Mexico. They're immigrants from Mexico, and my family too are immigrants from Mexico. However, my family is more, and I will say this: my family is way more Americanized than him, and I think it's because his parents came from Mexico, and my grandparents came from Mexico on my side. So my parents were both born in the U.S. and I say this because um, it hasn't. I wouldn't say it hasn't been the easiest, but sometimes I do kind of get, and I think I want to be honest about this because of the being culturally accepting and having knowledge about culture and understanding it, and trying to fit in. I'm gonna say trying to fit into my own culture. When I was growing up, I was I didn't grow up around a lot of Spanish. I did, like, my family spoke Spanish, but it was never like a force to speak Spanish in our household. My mom was a teacher, so she knew Spanish and English, but mostly she would talk in English all the time. So with my boyfriend's family, his mom is always on me about speaking Spanish, and like on him about why am I not learning Spanish, or why is he not teaching me? And with all his family, they all speak Spanish. So it was not, I wouldn't say it was like a culture shock, but it made me like second guess a little bit sometimes my culture, and like how deeply I was attached to it. And I am. I love being Hispanic, and I love celebrating everything, and I love um understanding my culture and connecting to it more. However, sometimes when that gets thrown around that I don't know Spanish, and like, why don't I know Spanish and I should know Spanish, it's kind of like making me feel like I don't respect my culture and I don't care for it. And that's how I feel. And the reason why I'm yapping about this is because that's how I've been feeling about it lately. So that is kind of something I'm coming to terms with. Um, and it's so hard because it's like, why don't you practice? Well, why don't you just talk to your boyfriend? Like, why don't. And it's like, on top of being a first year teacher and not knowing what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, but like, I'm second guessing getting my, like, why, how'd I get a degree in education and I don't know how to teach pre K? I've been second guessing that all year. Now it's like, we lived with his family for a little bit, so I spoke Spanish around his parents a lot when I was there. But now that we live in our own house, I haven't been speaking it as much. And it's like between being a first year teacher, doing my master's courses, y'all want me to add in like practicing and learning Spanish, like, like where's the time for that? Like, not only am I having imposter syndrome at school because I'm supposed to be a Texas A&M graduate and the Aggie teacher, and I don't even know if these kids are comprehending how to rhyme or how to spell or how to even be in school. I've questioning my teaching a lot this first year, and a lot of people are making me feel good about it. But a lot of people, veteran teachers, come sometimes. I feel like they look at me like, how, like you a teacher? Again, I am probably making up this scenario in my head, but that's how I've been feeling recently, and I think this is just kind of a great way for me to address both because I am having imposter syndrome in my culture right now and imposter syndrome in my work and kind of imposter syndrome with being in the grad program too. How am I doing it? I don't know. How am I going to do it? I don't know. Am I going to accomplish all three? Am I going to be the best teacher, the best Spanish speaker, and the best student? Probably not. And I wouldn't even say like, oh, I'm okay with that. Because I'm really not okay with that, if I'm struggling with it right now, but I feel like it's something I'm gonna have to learn how to be okay with. Anyways, I'm going on and going on. However, this is how I feel right now, and yeah, this is a great way for me to open up about having all these little problems, but they're little problems because I'm thankful for a lot of things, but that's a little about me, a little insight to my problems and my life and my culture and things. And I'm just really excited to be in this counseling program because it helps me get through a lot of my problems, um, with understanding like things take time and stuff like that. So thank y'all for being my amazing cohort, and I look forward to being in these discussions more and learning.